Looking back at Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the North Point Mall was one of the key locations that stood out. Whether you were driving motorbikes up the escalators, visiting one of the many locations in the mall, or at least there were many for the time period, or if you were just exploring, the North Point Mall was one of the locations from the Vice City map that sticks with everyone to this day. Thank you to these viewers for suggesting this video. Researching this was really enjoyable, so if you have any suggestions, drop them in the comments down below, and if it's a good enough suggestion, maybe I'll make a video about it. So now we're heading back to Vice City and the state of Leonida. What can we expect from the mall, if we are to expect a mall at all? That was a bit of a tongue twister. Before we get into today's video, I'm going to be hosting all of my future giveaways on Instagram from now on. So head over to my Instagram, drop me a follow, and even drop me a message if you've got any questions about the channel or any videos you'd like to see. Over time, we have seen two iterations of the North Point Mall. The first is GTA Vice City one, set in 1986 with the blue roof. Then we had the Vice City Stories one, set 2 years earlier in 1984, and the mall was referred to as the Vice Point Mall. Vice City Stories was a game that I rinsed the PSP back in the day. It was so good. Still not as good as the normal Vice City though. It is believed that this mall is based on the Aventura Mall in real life, opening on the 29th of April 1983, a year before GTA Vice City Stories was set in. It hasn't really been confirmed whether this is the mall it's based on, but looking at images of it, it's hard to deny they're very similar. Throughout this video, we're going to refer to the mall as the North Point Mall, as it's the one that people are probably most familiar with. One of the core issues with the North Point Mall is that it felt a bit eerie. Due to hardware limitations at the time, there wasn't a lot of NPCs in the mall, and it felt a bit like a ghost mall. This was owed, in part, to the lighting limitations of the early 2000s in gaming. It didn't quite give off the sprawling active mall vibe that we would expect from a mall. But with today's technological advancements, especially what we've seen from the GTA 6 trailer, we're a lot closer to what we'd expect to see from a busy mall. A lot of people, myself included, have put a lot of emphasis on wanting to be able to do things within the state of Leonida that serve a purpose. So rather than having an ammunition in the mall, or the odd clothes shop, give us a reason to go there. Is there a gym in the mall? Is there places where we can feed our character? Do we drive there and park in a multi-story car park like we do in real life, rather than dump our car on the street outside? Now for some people, they want GTA 6 to be an escape from reality, and they want the sci-fi missions, the flying cars, the Mark II hover bike, so they don't want a realistic world. But for myself and many others, and I think the vast majority of players, a realistic in-game world is what we find impressive. Any half-decent developer can make a sci-fi game somewhat playable, but creating a dynamic and realistic world is where Rockstar can really show their talents. I just want to interject with the video here and say that 95% of my regular viewers aren't subscribed, so if you do me a huge favour and just hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon, it helps me massively. My goal is to make this channel my pure focus throughout 2024, and by subscribing you're really helping me do that. Now, we all seem to have the impression that the game may have a refueling mechanic built into the game. For example, your vehicles will need fuel to traverse the map. But it's no secret that electric vehicles now have become a massive thing, so will there be EV charging points in the mall like there is in real life? And how would electric vehicle charging work in the game? Now you may say that the mall was built back in 1983. Surely it's outdated by now and won't fit the modern sleek aesthetic Rockstar is aiming for in GTA 6. Well, in 2017, the Aventura Mall, the real life North Point counterpart, was completely renovated, adding a car park, rooftop and the plaza, and now looks like a perfect model for Rockstar to use as a base to create a realistic mall. This, combined with the information that was leaked prior to the trailer being dropped that around 70% of the interiors would be explorable, builds a pretty impressive picture of what the mall could look like. Maybe we could have a store inside the mall for electric vehicles. In GTA, the equivalent to a Tesla is a coil. Maybe we'll have multiple restaurants, shops, places to buy clothes, places to buy other accessories for our character, gyms. Obviously this is all speculation at this point, but it makes you think more about what our malls have in real life today and how Rockstar might emulate that. Next, it's worth talking about the weird advantage to having an explorable mall. So normally in games that are open world, you're dealing with skylines, cityscapes, mountain ranges, etc. But something like a mall could effectively be rendered as one large interior, meaning that by entering the mall, we could be limiting the amount of information a graphics card / GPU has to render. For example, if you're in a closed off mall, you could have the rest of the map completely turned off, which would enable Rockstar to produce more complex interiors and maybe add 10, 20, 30, 40 stores inside this mall. It's also worth noting here that we'll probably see a lot of closed down shops. Now, I'm not that familiar with Florida and Miami, it's been a number of years since I've been there, but what I know from retail stores in the UK, a lot of them are closed down. In my local city, you can go into the town centre and about 80% of all the retail stores are shut because of online marketplaces such as Amazon. So will Rockstar make a play on that and have a mall that's predominantly empty? which would serve two purposes. It would save console hardware for having to render everything, but at the same time, it would be realistic, albeit less fun. I'm not sure on this take, but it's still something worth considering and talking about in this video. I'm hoping that we get the mall back for GTA 6, as a contrast to what we had in GTA Vice City. With today's technology, we have the option for a huge mall as a localized location for our characters to take advantage of. This also opens up the opportunity for a vast online playground for different game modes. Being able to have shootouts in a large mall with other players would be insanely cool. Think of it like adult hide and seek. Now, the last part of this video, I want to go over some questions I had. So I put a post up on my community tab, and originally I was going to answer these on Christmas Day, but I've decided Christmas Day I'm going to spend off YouTube. I've posted every single day on this channel now for about 2 months. I need a day off. So Christmas Day I'm having the day off and not making any videos. So I'm going to add these questions into this part of the video. Do you think the driving/deformation mechanics will be realistic like GTA 4 or arcade-ish like GTA 5? I think it would be more similar to GTA 4, and we can actually see a clip of this in the trailer where a car's overturned, and the deformation looks somewhat realistic. For those that don't know, in GTA 4, cars had crush mechanics, so if you dented one side of the car, the dent would happen exactly where the impact happened. It's very similar to the damage engine we have in BeamNG, where it's very realistic. In GTA 5, they got rid of that. You could hit a wall at top speed and the front bumper would fall off. And one of the things that we had in GTA 4 is if you crash hard enough, your character will fly through the windscreen, which is really cool. Do you think GTA 6 will have more toggleable options that can change the play style? I love the car handling in GTA 4, for example. I hated how there was no option in GTA 5 to make the cars heavier, but also know others hated the handling in GTA 4. Now, a lot of the car handling physics was actually down to the game engine itself. For example, the programmed gravity within the game, the weight of objects and items like the cars in GTA 4 were a lot heavier than they were in GTA 5. I don't think there's going to be a variable for that, mainly because you're messing with the game engine, because basically two players could be playing with two different sets of physics, which would cause a slight imbalance in the realism but also the fairness of the game. So I think we'll probably have sensitivity controls, the same way we kind of do now, where you can set up your controller to be more sensitive or less sensitive to input, but I don't know if we'd have different vehicle physics options across the board. Do you think there'll be features where you can greet, antagonize, or diffuse a conversation with someone like in Red Dead Redemption 2? Yes, I think that Red Dead Redemption 2 was literally just an experiment for Rockstar to see what they could do with the latest technology they had. I think we'll have a lot of these features in GTA 6. In fact, I'm pretty certain that everything we had in Red Dead Redemption 2 will come to GTA 6 plus be improved upon. Will GTA 6 be better if it doesn't have intervention from companies like Take-Two? No, I don't think it really makes a difference. Take-Two have to set limitations on certain things. For example, it is Take-Two for the most part that are bankrolling the whole thing. Rockstar is a subsidiary of Take-Two, so Take-Two would have to say to Rockstar Games, you're spending too much time on this, we need to allocate resource to this part of it, whatever. But from what we've heard from Sam Houser and when Dan Houser worked at Rockstar Games, they're actually really friendly with Take-Two. Like, Take-Two give them the creative freedom because Take-Two knows that Rockstar will create the best game. I think when it comes to money-making strategy, Take-Two probably have a say. For example, stuff like shark cards and everything like that. That was probably implemented by Take-Two or suggested by Take-Two. Take-Two and a lot of other businesses like Social Point, which pretty much all of their software is based on microtransactions. I think that might have been a Take-Two input, but at the end of the day, I don't think Take-Two will make the game better or worse, they'll just make it more profitable. What do you think about the food mechanism in the game? Is it like GTA San Andreas? And I also heard that in GTA 6, the airport will be like a real working one. What about your opinion? I think there will be a food mechanic within the game where, for example, in GTA 5, you can drink a soda and it will replenish your health. I think in GTA 6 we'll have something similar but more realistic. So we've seen from the leaks that we had last year that you can have a bag with you and in the boot of your car you can store items. So I think it'd be quite similar to Red Dead Redemption 2 where you can have medical kits and stuff like that. In terms of the airport, I don't really know. Until we have a full understanding of what areas of the map we have, a fully operational airport, I'd like to think it's real because having a full airport interior like we did in Vice City where you could actually go into the airport and it was kind of cool, that'd be awesome, but I don't really want to comment on this because I haven't actually done enough research into the airport side of things. This question's from Clem. Clem's been a long-time supporter of the channel. When I started the channel a few months ago, he's one of my first subscribers. What a legend. This isn't about GTA, but what made you want to do GTA videos or got into editing? If you already know this, I'm sorry for waffling on. I've been a YouTube editor for years. I've worked with a number of YouTubers. I started off editing for YouTubers when I was 16. I'm now in my late 20s. I've worked for a number of large British YouTubers, a few American YouTubers as an editor, and over time I started working with other creators, but not for editing, just to actually help them grow their channel, giving them advice and helping them build and scale their channels, and that became my full-time job. About 6 months ago, I realized I was working like 20 hours a day some days. In fact, pretty much every day was like 20 hours a day. I'd get up at like 6 a.m, not get to sleep until 11 p.m. at night. I wouldn't have time to go to the gym or wouldn't have time to focus on myself, and it just got a bit heavy. It got a bit mental. So I thought I want to do a YouTube channel, because I've had YouTube channels before, but they haven't been successful because I haven't managed to put any time into them. And I thought I want to do a YouTube channel. What's something I'm interested in? And Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto I started playing when I was very, very young. It's been a constant thing in my life to look forward to. So I have like this thing where if I'm interested in something, I obsess over it, like properly obsess over it, and it's pretty unhealthy, but at the end of the day, it stops me going off the rails because I have a hyper focus. Grand Theft Auto and gaming and stuff is something that I've always been interested in, but for the past 5 years, I haven't had a chance to play games. Like the first time I reopened Grand Theft Auto was when I started this channel, and it just kind of gave me this whole new perspective of falling in love with gaming again. And then obviously I started making my videos. I know how to edit, I know how to record, I have the equipment to do it. So I just started, and since my first video, the channel's doing really good. And obviously with my previous expertise in growing YouTube channels, here we are. But once again, I can't take all the responsibility and ownership of the channel doing so well. You guys supporting me as a creator makes this possible. That's why when I got to 3,000 subscribers, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a PlayStation 5 giveaway. I need to thank you guys for enabling this to be possible. But yeah, I'm going to keep working really hard at this and making this a thing. I love making videos, but at the same time, I don't want quick money. That's why I'm trying to make sure all of my videos are ethical. I'm not clickbaiting the hell out of everyone. I want to make it so people click on a video because the title and thumbnail is appealing, but when they get to the video, they get what they click for. And all you guys have to do in return is hit that subscribe button. So that's all for today's video. If you want to connect with me, my Discord's down below, my Instagram's down below. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. And I hope you all have the best Christmas possible.